I would say a lot of the things that the bishop said, that when I've always loved the building from a distance, from across Lake Union. You look up and it's the sort of this big, beautiful cathedral on the hill. It really is symbolic, I think, in the community. And, but going inside it is so powerful, because you walk in and here's this monumental space with the big columns and the high ceilings, and everything is so simple and so raw and so like unassuming, but it's so powerful at the same time, which I think really says a lot about it. So in the 1990s, we were asked to redo the west wall because the western sun was bothering people. And I heard stories about people having to wear sunglasses to go to church sometimes. But the idea of that was to, create a rose window so that that beacon would read from, all around the city from a distance. But then on the inside, it would read as a symbol of unity to for the congregation that's gathered inside. So it kind of works at all these different levels, from a city level to a more congregational person, and then a personal level. But it just has such great meaning. That I have this one story. I was up in the San Juans and came back on a stormy day in one of those little planes where you always think you're maybe not going to make it. And so the plane was just going like this, and they were trying to land in Lake Union. And it was foggy. You couldn't see the lake. You couldn't. You really didn't know. I thought, well, this is probably it. And I looked out the window, and here's the rose window right there. And it was like, okay, it's going to be. So, I think the building is more than just a cathedral to a group. It goes, everyone I know has some kind of story about St. Mark's, and I have a granddaughter that goes to the Compline every Sunday, and it just goes on and on. It's very special. We're very honored to be part of it still. And Kevin is leading this particular part of it, and Kevin Kudo-King, so he's going to tell you a little bit about his thoughts and what we're doing right now.
I have a very intimate connection to the building. It has a wonderful story. It means so much to the community, to the city, to all of you, and all of us have our own stories to tell about it. And what we really are wanting to do is to preserve this building so that more people can have this connection and it can continue to develop layers of stories. What we did in the mid-90s was the West Wall, and we were showing how we could protect the concrete then and how we could connect it in and deal with the glare issues, and then also have kind of a focus for the gatherings and things. Now what we're trying to do is tie the north and the east and the south sides of the buildings into what we did there. We're picking a material, a stone that's Indiana limestone, very similar to concrete in terms of its character. So we want to maintain that. We're leaving the concrete expressed inside. The windows that we're doing now, which is different than what we did in the mid-90s, but the windows that we want to do now are very much inspired by the windows that are there. We're trying to capture the randomness of the color. We're actually mimicking exactly the colors that are in some of those windows, and then we're repeating them. So the quality of light will be maintained. Coming into the space, you'll see these windows, they'll be new, but they'll tell a story, and people can talk about, well, I remember back when those other windows were here, and in those different layers. We're also recladding you can see here, the windows, the stone that we're matching. We're also recladding the brick that's surrounding the organ. We want to connect that part of the building, which perhaps isn't our favorite part of the story of the building. It's the part that doesn't quite fit with the rest. So we really want to connect it up into the roof, and so we're using copper. That's a material that changes and it patinas and it's modeled. And so we're bringing that down and cladding the organ, and then we're creating this this symbol that relates the east side to the west, so that people can recognize the building as they're driving by it in Capitol Hill. That's the same building that I saw on the hill. That's what we're trying to do. So.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.